Good morning, everybody. It's Thursday, November 1st, and I'm Stan here for the Check the Tech show. Going to check out the new Pioneer DDJ-SX at our local guitar center here in Hollywood. So hopefully I can get my hands on a unit, take it back to Odyssey, our sponsor of today's show, and be able to check it out, give you guys a first look, maybe even a review of it and the new Serato DJ software that it comes with. So here we go. Alright guys, success. I was able to pick one up. Now we're on our way to Odyssey to check it out. Alright guys, I've unboxed the DDJ-SX and put it in this nice Odyssey glide style case, which allows you to put your laptop on a shelf above it and move it back and forth, which is really cool, while protecting your gear. This video is just basically my first impression. I just got it, so I just wanted to go over some basic things that I've seen people asking about on YouTube and other forums as far as the SX. The jog wheels are 6 inches, which is exactly the same size as the NS6. And as far as how it feels like a CDJ jog wheel, but not the CDJs that have that kind of scratchy sound, that plasticky sound when you move them. These are actually very smooth and quiet, just like the NS6. However, the NS6 feels heavier. The platter feels heavier, and there's more resistance, I would say. But the SX definitely has a good amount of resistance, and I like the way it feels. As far as the S4, it feels plasticky and very cheap compared to the NS6 and the SX. The buttons, Pioneer on the SX has 3 types of buttons. They've incorporated these CDJ type silver play, cue, and sync buttons, and they have a nice clicky sound to them. And if you've ever played around with a CDJ player, you'll know exactly how they feel. These performance pads feel kind of almost like a Korg Nano pad. I don't know if you've ever seen those. And they have a very quiet, soft feel to them, but they're very responsive and intuitive. I was playing with the software earlier and trying to trigger 16th notes, and the response is really good. Not a lot of misfiring from hitting the pads. Then all the other buttons have a nice click to them, and they are pretty much comparable to the type of buttons on the NS6, where you get a little click to it, and so it's nice because you get a tactile response to engaging or disengaging whatever function you're clicking on. As far as the knobs and faders, they feel like they're of good quality. I have a DJM 400 mixer, and I think they feel about the same. Hard rubber. And for some reason, the filter knob looks nicer than all the other knobs. It's got a glossy top and a smooth finish, whereas the other ones feel a little stickier. And as far as the faders go, they have a good amount of resistance to them. The pitch fader or tempo fader is about 4 inches. I think pretty close to the same travel as the NS6, and definitely a lot longer than the S4. And the faders have a good amount of resistance, the channel faders do, and for some reason 3 and 4 and the sample all seem to have the most resistance. 2 and 1 seem to have a little bit less resistance, and the crossfader has very, very little resistance. So for those people that are cutting it up or scratching, I'm sure they will appreciate that crossfader. And as the NS6 does, it looks like it's replaceable because it has some Phillips screws right there on the faceplate, so it looks like you can pull it out and probably put another one in if you go crazy and you tear it up and ruin it. So those are my first impressions. As far as at this moment, what I would like the most is the SX, obviously. The build quality feels the best out of all of them, yet even though it feels the sturdiest and it looks the sturdiest, it's actually lighter than the NS6. The NS6 for some reason is really heavy. I think it's all that metal, whereas the Pioneer feels a little bit lighter. I think it's because the faceplate is metal and the underside is actually like a hard plastic, but which shouldn't be a problem if you put it in a case like this. And the S4 is just totally plastic, and as far as build quality is the cheapest of all of them, and doesn't feel and look very well made when you actually put it right up next to the Pioneer. But of course, Pioneer's been doing this a lot longer than Numark and Native Instruments, so they have a leg up on ergonomics, layout, and quality of build. But the most amazing thing is that it's in the same price range as these other two units. So for me, I think hands down, this is the hardware controller of choice. However, if you're stuck on using Traktor 2.6, then you might be stuck with using the Native Instruments controller, because I don't know as of yet whether this can be MIDI mapped to use Traktor. That'll be in a future video. It might take a little while and a long time of going through the Traktor MIDI map settings and seeing if I can actually get this to work. I don't know, but that's a project for another day. But for now, those are my first impressions of the DDJ-SX from Pioneer. I like it a lot. It seems really nice. And so for the next video, I'm going to dive into Serato DJ, the software that it comes with, a 4-deck software system. It looks like a 4-deck version of Itch that has a couple more features, like this new slip mode, which is really cool, and dual deck, which is really cool. If you've seen the Pioneer video, you probably understand how it already works, but I'm going to try it out with my little computer here, my 2009 MacBook, and see how it works. So those are my first impressions. Stay tuned for our next episode where we get into Serato DJ and how it works with the SX.